Can I relearn the Octatrack? I don't know, but we're going to find out as soon as I shout out today's patron. And that patron shout out goes to Sander Tiemeyer. Thank you so very much for the support. All right, let's get started. So here we are at the Electron Octatrack. This is the Mark I version. I bet a lot of you didn't even know that I had one of these, but I actually got this last year off of Reverb from someone who bought it from someone else off of Reverb. And I think that person also bought it from someone else off of Reverb. So this model has bounced around several times. The reason I got it was because I wanted to use it for live looping for my live rig before I wound up settling on a not-so-live looping focused rig using the MC707. But recently, I've wanted to get back into it. I only used it for about 2 months, was having all kinds of MIDI problems and things like that. It was just working really inconsistently with my Morningstar MC6 Pro. However, I recently wiped it completely clean, including the compact flash card, and I reinstalled the latest firmware update, and the MIDI seems to be working a lot better. In fact, it's working flawlessly. It's working perfectly now. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll actually give it another shot. Now, I haven't actually done anything audio-wise with it, though, so that's why I wanted to make this video. I figured it would be fun to see if I can remember at least how to get, like, the basic record trigs, if I remember correctly. I think that's what they're called, record trigs and play trigs, so that I can kind of live loop on the fly. I mentioned this unit has been passed around a lot, and that seems to be a pretty common thing with most Octatracks, and that's because it's so notoriously complicated and complex and difficult to use that most people wind up selling their units. So before I even think about putting this unit back on Reverb, I figured we'd give it a shot and see what I could come up with and see if I can remember how to use it in the most basic form. So I've got left and right going out to my audio interface, and then I've got an input here coming from this pocket operator, and I split the output just into mono because this is actually a stereo output. So basically all I want to be able to do today is play something on here. So basically all I want to be able to do today is play something on the Mega Man and then have it looped back in the Octatrack, and I don't want to have to manually record for the looper. I want to be able to schedule the recorder via a record trig. So you'll notice we're not hearing any sound on the Mega Man, and that's because we actually have to use one of our 8 tracks. I believe it's called a through machine. We have to use a through machine on one of our 8 tracks to be able to hear incoming audio. I'm now also remembering that track 8 needs to be the master track, so we can set that up by going function and project, I think. Is it under personalize? Maybe? Is it not here? No. Control? Audio? Oh, track 8. Master track. Hit yes. Okay. Track 8 is now the master track. And now this level knob controls our master output, because this, I think, is just for headphones, if I remember. It also lets us have an LFO, multiple LFOs, and multiple effects for the master, and we can actually sequence those, effects via the sequencer, too. So that's cool. Anyway, now we need a through track so we can actually hear the Mega Man. So we're going to use track 7 for that. And now I need to remember how to get to the screen where you can change the machines. It is not function and track. That is how you mute it. Is it double press? Maybe. So right now all the tracks are static machines, which I believe those are the machines that can stream like big samples from the compact flash card. So here it's letting me pick like a sample to put in this static machine slot. Maybe that's not right. Wait, I think I can hit back. Yes, okay. There you go. You hit the left arrow and you can get to the machine select. I think you can also go shift or function and playback. Yes, okay, that's playback setup. Let's pick a through machine, okay? Cool, we have a through machine on track 7. So now we need to set an input, which I want to be A. We're plugged in to input A, and I think you have to crank the volume up to get it full. And we still don't hear anything. Why? Oh, I know why. That's because we actually have to trigger playback on this track, which is so silly. So, well, it's silly, but it also lets you do like scheduled mutes and stuff like that. It's actually kind of sick. So we turn on write mode here, or note input mode, whatever. We're going to put a trigger on the first step. Now if I hit play, it's going to trigger that. Yeah. And even if I hit stop, we can now hear the Mega Man. Awesome. And now we can go in and do like effects and things like that. This is a delay. I think if I hit function in the effect button, we can change it. Yeah. Cool. Let's do a reverb. I remember not being I remember the reverbs not being great. It's okay. I think we can increase the time. Yeah. Cool. So now we have some reverb and we can hear our Mega Man. Cool. So that was step one of the equation. I actually feel pretty proud of myself that I was able to remember just that. Now we need to set up a track to actually record and play back the recording. So we're going to use track 1 for that. And track 1 is once again a static machine, so we need to change that. We need to hold function and push playback and change that to a flex machine. Flex machines play back audio from the internal RAM rather than from the compact flash card. And when you record stuff in real time, that does record to the RAM. I'm going to ignore all this playback setup stuff because I don't think I need it. Instead, I need to tell it to record from the recording buffer. And that is done somehow. Double press here. Oh, yes. Here's where I get to pick the slot for the flex machine. And the recording buffers are also listed here in the slot selection. So I just want recording buffer 1. We're going to keep it really simple. We've got 64 megabytes of RAM, which is plenty for this kind of thing. Okay. Yeah, we've got 1 selected. Cool. So now we need to figure out how to record to recording buffer 1. And I believe I get there by holding function and pushing this record button. Yeah, okay. Recording 1 setup. Setup page 1. Cool. So the input needs to be A. Right there. The record length, I think we'll just make it 16. Maybe we'll change that. If we get this one right, maybe we'll extend it to 32. I'm trying to remember if I need to turn this input off for C and D. I'm gonna, just to be safe. We'll turn loop off. I don't know if that actually matters. Oh, whoops, I hit. Yes, that arms all. That's actually important, I think. Okay. Now, while we're still in the recording setup for recording buffer 1, we need to place a trigger on the sequencer, and that will actually tell the Octatrack to start recording into buffer 1 when that trigger hits on the sequencer. So, with recording mode still on, I do remember this part. If I turn on write mode here and place a trig on step 1, that's going to be a record trig. And there's something else I have to do too. I cannot remember for the life of me. Oh, just kidding. It's all kind of coming back. I need to make this a one-shot trig, so it only happens once. So the first time that I play this through, it's going to arm the recorder. That's going to play back for 16 steps, and then it's going to stop recording. And to make this a one-shot trig, I hold it down and pick something. No, I hold function and push it. Yes, and then it turns yellow. So that's a one-shot trig. Ha! I remembered. Now we can close this recording buffer setup section. And now, even though we're still in write mode, we're now just on track 1 rather than recording buffer 1. So we also need to put a playback trigger on track 1. So this trigger here means that anything in recording buffer 1 is going to play back every time this trigger happens. And we don't want this to be a one-shot because we want it to play every time. Okay, I'm going to turn off record mode. And now, I think if I hold function and push yes, it arms all. So that arms the record trigger. So I don't have a metronome or anything. I'm just going to hit play. And as soon as I hit play, I should be able to play this. And it'll record 16 steps worth. I think we're at 120 BPM. So I'm just going to test this. Here we go. I hope I got it right. I'm a genius. Oh my God. I can't believe I remembered how to do it. That's so cool. Now you'll notice it's not playing back the reverb. That I don't know how to do. Just turn up the send for track 1 and turn this into that dark reverb as well, because each track can have its own effects, which is cool. Don't know why this got so quiet. Oh, it turned itself down. Weird. Okay, cool. Now you'll notice we can keep playing that back as long as we hit play. The audio in recording buffer 1 is going to stay there until we rearm that record trigger. Does that make sense? So if we go into the recording setup, turn on write mode, there's our one shot, which is not currently armed. And that's why if we exit record mode here, we'll see we do have a trigger down, but that's for playback. So it's really interesting. You can do some interesting things here. So let's put a few more of these triggers down and watch this. So right now it's trying to start our little recording over every time it hits this here. Clear all those out except the first one. Okay, let's double the length of our recording. That went so well, I'm confident I can do this. Function and scale setup brings us to the pattern scale. Just like on my model cycles, which I just used actually, I can hit this button again. There we go. We're at 32 steps now. And now in write mode here, we can actually toggle between our two different measures. You'll see we have a playback trigger in each measure. Let's actually delete the one in measure 2. Just leave the one in measure 1. And now I can change the length, the playback length of this. Even though I don't think I need to, I'm going to set it to 32 steps just to be safe. Now let's go into our recording setup. Remember, if we turn on write mode, we have our record trigger. Guess what? Because we duplicated it, there's going to be another record trigger on bar 2. We need to get rid of that. Okay, then we need to go back to our first record trigger, hold it down, and parameter lock that. Whoop, why can't I change it? I did something wrong. Let's just delete it and put it back. Oh, I don't think you can parameter lock in the record setup. So I set it to 32 and then put it in there. Okay, so now we should have 2 bars of recordable audio once we arm this. Actually, let's turn on the metronome, which is function mixer. All the way down, metronome. Yes, we'll turn it on. Main volume. Okay, we'll put it through the main out. Normally it only goes out through the headphone jack or the Q outs, but we should be able to throw something down now. Let's switch to the drums. And let's play something in. Here we go. I don't know what happened. It got rid of my... Oh, there's an extra play trigger on step 7. Is that what happened? I'm not sure. I can't hear my pocket operator anymore. What the hell? Now I can. Someone tell me what just happened. That was weird. Let's rearm everything and now try it. Okay, it did not work. I did something wrong. We have a record trigger. Oh, one shot? Is that what we need to do? Yeah. I think I forgot to make it a one shot. Okay. Let's try this again. Function arm all. Here we go. Okay. We now have a drum loop. Okay, awesome. We're going to go to track 2. We're going to set up the recording buffer. We're going to have a second looper track here. We are going to set this to 32 steps as well. Input A, and we're going to put a trig down here. No, I'm going to do it manually, actually. So instead, all we're going to do on this track, oop, that's static. We need to change it. Oh, wrong one. Wrong one. This one. Flex. Okay, and then we're going to pick recording buffer 2 and then set up for recording buffer 2, 32 steps. Yeah, cool. Nice. Okay, so now we place a playback trig outside of record mode right here, and we parameter lock that to 32 steps, even though I don't think we have to, just being safe. So now we have to use this button here to toggle recording on and off for that track. So I hit play. I'm going to go in and turn the metronome down now. Get a bass. Okay, I'm gonna hit play. I'm not sure what happened. I don't know how to just arm this buffer here. Oh, I just armed everything. I did not mean to do that. Shoot. I don't think there's undo. Okay, clearly I have a long way to go on the Octatrack. I'm not sure what the glitch was where I couldn't hear any incoming audio. Octatrack owners and users, tell me what I did wrong out there. But I'm proud enough of myself that I remembered the basics. I have audio looping, right? Like, this is looping right now. I can mess with it. Can use the filter. Reverb, sure. What? Where's the reverb? Oh, there's no reverb on effect 1. There, I tried to loop it on track 1. Oh, the compression sounds really nice, actually. We could do... could do that. Alright, obviously I have a lot to learn. I already said that. It was probably obvious watching this whole video, but I'm willing to give it a second chance. I know it can do a lot. I know it's a really, really powerful, really cool piece of gear. If I can figure out those inconsistencies, like why my audio randomly cut out on the PO, that would be really cool. That'd be nice if I could figure that out. Can I apply compression directly? Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'm willing to give it another shot. I'm actually fairly pleased with how quickly I was able to remember how to get the very basic stuff working with the record trigs and the playback trigs. And if you don't know, there's like a gazillion other ways to use this thing. Go check out EasyBot if you're interested in seeing a whole bunch of different ways to use this thing. This is the way I'm interested in using it. And if I can figure out the inconsistencies, I'm willing to reintegrate it into the live rig. I do hope you found this video informative or at least entertaining. If not, you can always leave a dislike. That's okay too. Doesn't hurt my feelings, just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. More Octatrack content on the way, I'm sure. Thank you so very much for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.